Hello and welcome back to the Marketing 101 for Small Business Owners podcast. I am your host, Philippa Channer, your dedicated marketing companion. Today, we're continuing our journey on the theme for January, which is New Year, New Strategy. Our focus now shifts to planning your marketing strategy for the entire year. I know it seems intimidating, but it can be done. So get ready for insights that will not only shape your marketing, but also transform your business. Let's jump right in. As small business owners, how we manage our marketing is significantly important. How we see the value of the way we market our business and the time that we put into it, the money we put into it, all shapes where our business goes. And crafting a comprehensive strategy sets the tone for success. So here are some essential lessons that are going to guide you through planning your marketing strategy for the entire year. The first thing you need to do is understand your audience. Imagine your audience as the heartbeat of your business. To create a strategy that resonates, you must understand them intimately. Define your target audience, their preferences, their behaviors, their pain points. If you're just starting out and you have 0 clients, it's going to be a little harder. But once you start getting some clients, you're going to start seeing some similarities into the people who are interested in your product or service. And you're going to start getting a better idea of who your target audience really is. You really want to get to know them, not just how they interact with your target, with your product or your service, but how they behave outside of that. Because at some point, they had to get to the point of deciding they wanted to do your product or service. So where were they before that? What got them there? You have to understand who that person is, because that's the person you need to connect with when you do marketing, because they're the ones that are next on your list. They're your new leads. So how do you get them from wherever they are, who they are, how they are, what they're doing, to the point where they find out about your product or service and they are interested and they see the connection between the problems they're facing and the solutions your product or service is going to give them. So you need to really understand them. So create a detailed customer persona. That I'm sure you've heard it before. There's multiple tools out there that you can build personas for. You want to know your audiences, their demographics, their interests, and their challenges. You don't want to just focus on the demographics, but think of the psychographics, how they're thinking, their decision-making processes, their deep concerns and fears. You really want to tap into those. This knowledge is going to form the foundation of a strategy that speaks directly to your customers, and that's what you really want. You don't want to speak to everybody. You want to speak to your ideal customer who your product or service is for. Once you get that down, once you understand your audience, you've created your personas and you know who you're talking to, the next is you're going to set key performance indicators. You can do this by knowing your goals. If you don't know your goals, it's going to be hard to know how to measure them. So in the world of marketing, data is your compass, and setting key performance indicators to measure your success of your efforts is so important. These can include, your website traffic, conversion rates, social media engagements. But again, it's all going to be based on what your goal is for the year. So if last week you heard my podcast and you set yourself some goals, now you need to look at those goals and say, okay, how do I measure if I achieve this goal? That's going to be your key performance indicator. So until you have goals, you can't know what to measure and how to measure it. So set your goals first and then pick your key performance indicator so you have something to track and measure throughout the year to know how successful you'll be. Once you do that, you are going to choose the right marketing channels for your business. Not all roads lead to Rome, and not all marketing channels are suitable for every business. You need to select the channels that align with your audience and your business goals. So that's why we selected our audience first, our business goals next. Now we have to find the channel that makes the most sense for both of those to meet. Whether it's social media, email marketing, content creation, you got to be strategic and choose wisely. Evaluate the effectiveness of your current marketing channels and identify one channel that needs improvement or consider experimenting with new ones. Focus on quality over quantity. You can have all the social medias, all the different platforms, but you can't manage them all unless you have a large team and you can dedicate one person to each platform. If you're a solopreneur like myself and many of my listeners, you can't manage every single platform out there. It's impossible. So choose one that again aligns with your audience, aligns with your goals, and is being the most impactful and most engaging platform, and really focus on that. The next thing you want to do is creating a content calendar. It is actually a lot easier than you can think to create a whole content calendar for the year. So like for instance, for me, for my podcast, I know each week for all of 2024 what I'm going to be talking about. That's what I did in my strategic planning session last year. I said, okay, what are the most important topics I want to talk about? And then I broke it down. As you know, I do monthly, themes. So it was easy for me to do that. It's just as easy for you to do it as well. Consistency and frequency, I think I've mentioned this before, two different things. Consistency is being consistent about something. You can be consistent every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever rhythm is your consistency, find it and stick with it. Frequency is how much content you do. And that's going to be based on what's your capabilities, what's your resources, what's your functions. Can you manage daily content? If you can't manage daily content, don't set that goal for yourself. Try to do like twice a week. Maybe say your goal is every Tuesday, Thursday of every week. So let's go with that. Let's say you set a rhythm of every Tuesday and Thursday, I want to drop new content, whatever that means. They could look different. That content can be different each time, but you want to put out content every Tuesday and Thursday. So now you have a set amount of days, 2 days out of every week, that's 104. So that means now you can break it down to, okay, what do I want to talk about? And let's say you are a fitness coach. Now you have different buckets within your realm of your coaching service that you're leading. So you want to, say you want some content to talk about nutrition and some meal planning, anything to do with food related. You can do a post about highlighting some superfoods. You could do a post about how frequently you should eat. You could do a post about what foods to avoid. So there's a lot of different content just around nutrition and food that a health coach could do. So that's one of your content buckets. Another bucket that this coach could post on is exercises that moms or stay-at-home moms could do with no equipment. So you could highlight different exercises using your couch or your chair or the wall, different movements that people can do to stay active. So you could have a series of content based on that. So that's another bucket you could pull from. Another bucket you could pull from is sleeping habits. And you could focus on the value of sleep and how it impacts your overall health. That's another content bucket, because if you think of those 3 buckets alone, there's so many different subcategories that you can expand on. So once you do that, you can say, okay, all right, well, maybe let's do one more. So that's a nice even number. So another bucket that you could do is the value of group exercises. So building a community, either joining a gym, building a community around other moms that you have around you that you could work out together, or even if you don't work out together, but maybe you're doing the same workouts independently, but sharing your experience with each other and how you're doing, just having that community could be important. So there's another 4th bucket of content you could pull from. And then of course you can sprinkle in there offers and specials that you're having, actual sales, marketing post to encourage people to work with you and hire you. So you've got these buckets now, and you're going to do 104 posts, and you're going to do them every Tuesday and Thursday. So now you can just lay out the calendar and say, okay, great. So for this month, I'm going to post about, and you just spread it out. Say, okay, the first Tuesday, I'm going to post about nutrition and food. And the Thursday, I'm going to post about group workouts. And then the next week on Tuesday, I'm going to post about workouts. And then you see where I'm going with, like, you just kind of just plot out the content flow. You haven't actually written anything. You don't know exactly that the content you're going to post, but you could lay out the entire year just flowing through that content of what's coming up. That way, on the weekend before the content drops, you can plan out that content. You already know what you're going to talk about. The bucket it's coming from. Now you just need to break it down and say, okay, what from this bucket can I share this week? It makes it a little easier just to see the map of content laid out through a calendar view, it makes it so much more easier to manage and easier to digest. Consistency, it's the heartbeat of successful marketing. So you want to plan your content ahead with a content calendar. Again, it really helps reduce the intimidation factor and make it so much easier to manage. And this ensures a steady flow of engaging, relevant content that keeps your audience connected. The main thing is, if you saw the buckets I chose for this fictional health coach, those are buckets that they strongly believe their audience is going to find valuable and helpful to them. So you want to pick buckets not just because you want to post about it and it's something you want to do, but you want to pick buckets that your audience needs to hear and they want to hear. All right, so develop a content calendar for the upcoming month. Let's start with a month. Map out your topics, the delivery channels, and your engagement strategies. What are you going to do once the content hits and it's live? What are you going to do with the content to keep it active with your audience? This proactive approach allows you to stay ahead of the curve and maintain a really strong online presence. So to recap, planning your marketing strategy involves understanding your audience intimately, setting meaningful goals, which can give you the key performance indicators, choosing the right marketing channels, maintaining consistency through a well-crafted content calendar. All of these elements form the pillars of robust marketing foundation and set you up for a great year of success. So thanks for joining me today again. If you found valuable in this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share this content with somebody else. Make sure other people know about this channel. It really helps us grow. And as a token of appreciation, as always, I'm offering a free marketing consultation session to each one of you. Visit our website. There's a link in the description below to secure your spot for your appointment. And then join us next week. We're going to delve into evaluating the previous year's performance and learnings and how we can use them. Until then, may your marketing strategy be purposeful, your audience engaged, and your business thriving. Guys, have a great week, and I'll talk to you then.